Blue Heart is a 6-year project to investigate and mitigate the impact of flooding in Eastbourne and southern Wealden. It's funded by the Environment Agency's Flood and Coastal Resilience Innovation Programme, one of the lucky 25 projects across the country looking at testing new innovative approaches for creating flood resilience.
It floods here, we're in the bottom of a dip, massive drainage problem. The tide is in, the water can't escape. Therefore, our drains hop, literally they come up, they shoot out, and this area here completely floods, and it floods the pub. But up until the bar, there's a tide mark. When we have a big downpour, obviously, and if the tide's out, it's fine. If the tide's in, then the water can't escape, and so therefore it just backs up. This area will flood literally in 2 or 3 minutes.
It just needs a lot more innovation, a lot more creative thinking about what can be done, and looking for best practice from elsewhere and see what can be applied locally.
Water management rather than flood defence, I think, is the important thing. I think the most important thing in water management is joined up thinking across all of the institutions that are involved and finding a way in which it can be managed sensitively such that all interests are accommodated.
We're trialling new technologies such as new sensors in the environment and hoping to harvest that data to better understand water levels so that we can provide a new flood warning system for our communities, and also sharing and opening up that data for communities and residents so they can better understand their flood risk and therefore be more resilient to climate change. The project is deploying over 100 sensors to help us understand where water goes after it flows through streams, below the ground and over the ground. These sensors will be strategically placed in boreholes, sewers, gullies, watercourses and lakes to monitor groundwater levels, drainage efficiencies and potential flooding risks. Rain gauges will also be distributed to schools and community groups to measure rainfall. With the Blue Heart project, we will utilise real-time data, computer monitoring and weather forecasts to make informed decisions about maintaining safe water levels. This proactive approach may involve lowering water levels before heavy rainfall or retaining water during droughts to preserve wildlife habitats and agricultural lands. The sudden and heavy rainfall, which is happening more often, can overwhelm the drains because there's no time for the water to seep away safely. Collecting and storing this rainwater as it falls stops it from flooding our roads and our streets, but also keeping it out of the sewer system, reducing the risk of sewage discharges.
If we can manage the flood land side, then we can mitigate the dangers. Really, it's all to be joined up thinking. It's the only way this planet is going to resist climate change is by us all working together.
Yes, I have heard about climate change. So apparently, the electric makes it a lot warmer, and then all the ice caps are melting, and it's really bad because then the water will rise. I have been impacted by flooding because at the bottom of my garden there's a giant river, and before it got really bad and it flooded the whole of the patio at the bottom. It was knee deep, very scary.
Everyone in our project area of Eastbourne and southern Wealden is already starting to experience the impacts of climate change, and that's only going to increase over time. And that includes things like extreme weather and flooding. To support local residents and businesses, sometimes that means Blue Heart taking the lead. But equally, we're very aware that there are a number of organisations and groups that are doing great work already. So another part of our role is to support them and collaborate with the great work that's going on already.
Projects like this, which are community-based, are so important for building this resilience. Climate change, it's accelerating so fast that I do think it'll be a huge challenge to keep the sea out, because this area is so low-lying. I mean, we're basically at sea level here. It's one of the things we have to live with in this area, is the threat of flooding. It's always ever present in the back of your mind.